2 Samuel chapter 4, Holman Christian Standard Bible. When Saul's son Ishbosheth heard that Abner had died in Hebron, his courage failed, and all Israel was dismayed. Saul's son had two men who were leaders of raiding parties, one named Bana and the other Rechab, sons of Rimmon and the Beerothite of the Benjaminites. Beeroth also was considered to be part of Benjamin, and the Beerothites fled to Gittim and still live there as foreigners to this very day. Saul's son Jonathan had a son whose feet were crippled. He was 5 years old when the report about Saul and Jonathan came from Jezreel. The one who had nursed him picked him up and fled, but as she was hurrying to flee, she fell and became lame. His name was Mephibosheth. Rechab and Baanah, the sons of Rimmon and the Beerite, set out and arrived at Ishbosheth's house during the heat of the day while the king was taking his midday nap. They entered the interior of the house as if to go get wheat and stabbed him in the stomach. Then Rechab and his brother Baanah escaped. They entered the house while Ishbosheth was lying on his bed in his bedroom and stabbed and killed him. Then they beheaded him, took his head, and traveled all the way to Arba all night. They brought Ishbosheth's head to David at Hebron and said to the king, "Here is the head of Ishbosheth, son of Saul, your enemy who intended to take your life. Today the Lord has granted vengeance to my lord against the king against Saul and his offspring." But David answered Rechab and his brother Baanah, sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, "As the Lord lives, the one who has redeemed my life from every distress, when the person told me, 'Look, Saul is dead,' he thought he was a bearer of good news, but I seized him and put him to death at Ziklag. That was my reward to him for his news. How much more when the wicked kill a righteous man in his own house on his own bed? So now, should I not require his blood from your hands and wipe you off the earth?" So David gave orders to the young men, and they killed Rechab and Baanah. They cut off their heads and their feet hung their bodies, heads and feet, and hung their bodies in the pool, by the pool in Hebron, and they took Ishbosheth's head and buried it in Abner's tomb in Hebron.